Hello, welcome back to my channel Endless Pages. I'm Liv and today's video is going to be my reading wrap up for the month of February. So in February I read two manga and two books, and I'm on a third book, but we'll get into the details as I go through. It was an interesting reading month, a little bit of a setback, but we'll get into details about that in a sec. Okay, we started off the month strong with two manga. I have never read manga before. This is my first time kind of diving into it. I was unsure if I was going to like it or not because I don't read a particularly large amount of graphic novels. Like, I seek some out, but it's not, it's not a preference of mine. I don't super love reading it, and I don't read graphic novels all the time. I know graphic novels and manga are different. I'm just saying, like, in terms of like reading style, I watch anime. That's the reason why I wanted to get into manga, because I really like anime and I would like to see, what's different and what it's actually like reading the manga, the source material. So I decided to pick up this particular manga because I was talking to a friend at work and she was like, this is the one you need to do, this is the one you need to read, I feel like you really like this because I love the anime, and that is the Death Note manga. So I'm so glad I picked this up. I'm really liking reading manga. I definitely think I started with the right kind of manga because it's not like an action one where there's like so much happening. I think this was a good way to kind of start it off. So this is the lovely black editions. So this has two volumes in one, volume 1 and volume 2, which I love. But side note, I cannot get my hands on volume 2 that has the second book, that has volume 3 and 4. It doesn't seem to be available anywhere in Australia until like end of March, early April. So weird. Maybe I picked the wrong edition to get. I really want to continue on, but I can't get my hands on a copy. So annoying. Anyway, I'm rambling. If you don't know, Death Note is about this schoolboy called Light, and Light one day is leaving school and he finds this little book, like a little notebook, and it says Death Note on it. And the Death Note has been dropped by this rogue kind of death god called a Shimigami. I butchered that. And Light kind of opens the book and there's all these like rules in it. So basically, if you write someone's name in this book, if you write their name out and you can picture their face, if you know what they look like, they die. Like instantly, or it's like, like 15 seconds, dead. So Light's like, okay, I'm going to do some real damage with this book and I'm going to rid the world of what he believes to be evil people. And obviously this draws the attention of a lot of people because criminals just start dropping dead. So there's this kind of private investigator called Elle, and Elle takes on the case of trying to find out who is causing the death of all these criminals. So this whole manga is basically just a cat and mouse game between Light and Elle, and trying to, will Elle figure out who's killing all these people first, or will Light figure out Elle's identity first? I kind of butchered that explanation, but basically like a cat and mouse game between Elle and Light. This book is fantastic. It's a really interesting concept of having so much power and what it would do to a person. Light's character is so like, he believes he's morally correct, and his character just kind of like loses his mind with this power and just believes, he like compares himself to a god. Like he literally believes that he is the one standard for morals and he has all the answers about what is good and what is bad, like who is a bad person and who is a good person. So that's really interesting to see him really quickly snap into this mindset of like, I can do something about the evil in this world and I'm going to use the power that I have been given. Also, the cat and mouse game between Light and Elle is just so entertaining to read. They're both super intelligent people, so watching them try to figure out and catch each other out and catch each other making mistakes and outsmart each other is constantly entertaining and makes the plot very interesting. I'm surprised at how similar the anime is, like very loyal to this. I thought maybe I was like, oh, maybe I'm not gonna like enjoy it because I already know everything that happens, but I still enjoyed reading it, I think, because it's in such a different format, and it's been such a long time since I've watched the anime that I don't mind. It's like bringing back all these great memories of what happens. This manga is so entertaining. I cannot wait to get my hands on the next one. So I rated volume 1 and volume 2 of Death Note 5 stars. Then I continued on with The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang, the second book in the Poppy War trilogy. As I've said before, I'm participating in the Poppy War readathon. I will tag that in the description, of course. Oh my god. I love this series. It's so good. I still cannot tell you why I love it so much. It's so not my typical read, but it's such a good book. I know I've said the plot a million times, but quickly, if in case you haven't seen my other videos or you don't know. The first book, The Poppy War, is about Rin. Rin is a dark-skinned peasant girl from the country. She takes this test called the Keiju, which gets you into this elite military school, but once she's there, she kind of has to face new challenges because most of the students, the test is not really designed to let people like Rin in. It's designed to let people like sons and daughters of like warlords and highly wealthy and highly educated people that have had, you know, private tutors their whole life to get in. So she kind of faces a lot of prejudice because one, she's dark skinned, and two, she's a peasant girl, plus she's a girl. There's not very many girls at Synagard. So she kind of has to deal with all of that and prove to her classmates that she belongs at this military school. While there, she, you know, learns all stuff like history and martial arts, and there's this martial arts style called shamanism that she discovers she can wield, I guess is the right word. While she's learning to wield shamanism, she discovers gods thought long dead are very much alive, and the third Poppy War is just a spark away. Despite what's happened in this book, I'm trying to say this without spoiling it. If you read it, you know what I mean. The major plot point of this book. Despite that, it's still really slow paced, but I don't even mind. I don't know why. I usually would hate slow paced books, but I think the writing just makes up for it. I found myself pumping through this book so much quicker than I was pumping through the Poppy War, and I don't know why. I just kept wanting to know what was happening, and I couldn't put this book down. Our main character Rin is constantly challenged and constantly faced with new issues that are arising. Despite that, I really feel like Rin really came into her own in this book, even more than she already had. She was really interesting to see and develop in this book. This book ended on even more of a bigger cliffhanger than the first book. I didn't think that was possible, but oh my god, again, R.F. Kuang writing last lines. The last line of this book, again, has stuck with me, just like the last line of the first book, The Poppy War, did. And now I am beyond excited to pick up the third book, The Burning God, in March. But I'm really sad that I'll be almost finished. I'm really scared. I feel like the last book is gonna break me. I just think this is such a unique book in terms of like the shamanism and the gods plot, without spoiling it. That is so interesting and so cool to me. Rin is a little bit morally grey, but I love that about her. I love her, and every book I read in this series makes me love her even more and want her to succeed. And I feel like, yeah, she's not a character you want to mess with or get on the wrong side of, so I'm excited to see what chaos she causes in the third book. I gave The Dragon Republic 5 stars. Oh, brilliant. I love it. Okay, so after The Dragon Republic, we start to see a bit of a problem with my reading in February. I went on release day. I was even going to do like a reading vlog, but I accidentally deleted some of the footage, and I stopped reading this book anyway, so that's fine. I went and picked up on publication day one of my most anticipated books of the year, Crescent City 2, House of Sky and Breath. So yeah. Basically, this was one of my most anticipated books, and I'm about 108 pages in, I believe. And then I just kind of like stopped reading for a couple of days. I don't think it's this book's fault. I was really enjoying what I was reading, and I definitely think it's going to be a 4 or 5 star book. But I just don't think I was in the mood to read it, to be honest. It definitely wasn't the book. I wasn't not liking the book. So I know it's not the book's fault. I think it was just a me thing, and I just really wasn't in the mood to read it. I wasn't feeling reading something like that. So I feel like it kind of put me into a bit of a slump, and I didn't read anything for like probably I'd say like a week after trying to get into this book. It's so disappointing because it was one of my most anticipated books, and now I'm so sad because I'm seeing everyone posting their reading vlogs and tweeting about how crazy the ending was on Twitter, and I just like, I know I'm missing out, and I was really excited to read it on publication day, you know, and read it when everyone else was reading it and being part of that hype. You know, the hype when everyone was reading it kind of at the same time, or those that had highly anticipated it. So that was really disappointing that I wasn't being able to be a part of that. I was at the start for a little bit until I got slumpy. This book will definitely be picked up again. I don't know when. I think I'm gonna leave it a little bit. I've already filmed my March TBR and I just didn't put it in. I didn't really plan on putting it in. I'm going to give it a break. I'm going to leave it and we'll pick it up again when I'm in the mood. I don't want to force it and make myself hate this book because I forced it when I wasn't ready. So we're going to leave it for now and come back to it eventually. Okay, so like I said, I didn't read for about a week after I picked up Crescent City 2. I was then one day I was like, I'm sick of it. I need to read something. I want to read at least one more book before the end of the month. So I scoured my shelves. I ignored my TBR. Oh, I don't know if I said at the start, I thoroughly failed the Sims Readathon TBR. I think I think Dragon Republic was the only book I read off my TBR. How shocking is that? That's alright. That was a priority one anyway. Moving on. So I then decided to pick up this book, and boy am I glad I did, and that is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. Wow. I think I'm going to say I think I liked it even more than House in the Cerulean Sea, and that's saying something because I was like obsessed with that book at the start of the year, like obsessed. Under the Whispering Door is an adult fantasy book. We follow our main character Wallace, and Wallace appears to be dead. He's at his, somehow at his own funeral, and this person comes along and calls himself a Reaper and says they're going to take him to this guy, this weird little tea shop, which is owned and run by this guy called Hugo. And Hugo tells Wallace he is here to help him pass on to whatever is next after death. Hugo is not ready to pass over though. When he was alive, he barely lived his life. And yeah, he's really not ready to move on yet. This book is absolutely beautiful. Check the trigger warnings. There is discussions of suicide and obviously death. It is really heavy, and I didn't realize it was an adult book when I picked it up, but definitely an adult book with the themes and discussions in this book. This book is absolutely stunning. There is, I would say, not a lot of plot. I think most of this book is more about the discussions that the characters are having, and it's really character driven. The plot towards the beginning is very basic and repetitive, but I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's repetitive because you are just really just listening to the conversations Wallace has with Hugo and some of the other people like the Reaper and some other characters who I won't say because spoilers. This book is about Wallace coming to terms with being dead, and it's really a big reflection with the help of Hugo to look inward on himself and realize what kind of person he was on Earth and what he did with his time on Earth, and not letting that define who he could be after death. TJ Klune, like in the House in the Cerulean Sea, seems to be like writing characters that are able to self-reflect, and characters that, despite how they were before, despite what kind of person you are, show that you can always improve and become a better person. I may as well just hold it up. Again, like in the House in the Cerulean Sea, TJ Klune seems to be fantastic at writing characters that are able to self-reflect, and despite their age and despite what kind of person they were before, able to really inwardly reflect and be like, and look at themselves like, what kind of person am I? What am I doing with my life? What did I do with my life? Am I happy with those choices that I made? And really just be super self-aware of themselves and grow and use the strength of other people and use the strength of Hugo and some others to want to improve himself, to want to be a better person. Yeah, just a character that's able to be honest with themselves, because Wallace's character wasn't super honest with himself when he was alive about what kind of person he was. This book is stunningly written. There is so many amazing quotes that I was like jotting down, like, oh my god, so many good quotes out of this book. The writing is stunning, the characters are amazing, and the dynamic and conversations that were had in this book were beautiful. There were some really confronting moments with some other characters that were dead. There was another character who, I don't know, I won't say that. Spoilers. Okay, I cried for the last 50 pages of this book. There were some really bittersweet confronting moments with another character that happened, or two other characters that happened. That was like a lot to read, because obviously this book is talking about death, and we don't like to talk about death a lot. Death is a topic that is obviously terrifying. It's a topic you don't want to talk about. It's a topic that's confronting and painful to read. And I think this book just talks about it so well, and such a magical, beautiful way to look at what could be next. This book is incredible. Really interesting, confronting scenes about, and discussions, I should say, about death and who we are as people and our actions and the people that we want to be compared to the people that we are. And oh my god, it's just, oh, it's so good. Really cute romance and really heartwarming, fuzzy scenes, but then amazing, confronting, bittersweet scenes. Again, I cried and it was beautiful, and I recommend this book to absolutely everyone. But just again, reminder to check the trigger warnings. I gave Under the Whispering Door 5 stars. Oh my god, absolutely beautiful. Finally, I am doing a reread of a book. I've got about 250 pages left, but it's only the 27th, so I have today and tomorrow left to finish that. I'm not going to tell you what that is though, because it's for a secret project, so, oh well, a secret blog, so I can't tell you what the reread is, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Despite my little bit of setback towards the end of the month, I'm really happy with what I read in February. I was really happy I read Under the Whispering Door towards the end of the month. It means I'm in a great reading mood and super excited to start off my massive TBR video for March. I will tag that in the description in case you haven't seen it, or I'll put it on the video if I can figure out how to do that. If not, it's definitely in the description. It's a fun one, so I would definitely check that out. Yeah, so in the month of February, I read volume 1 and 2 of Death Note. I read The Dragon Republic, and I read Under the Whispering Door. Thank you so much for watching my February wrap-up video. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what was your favourite read of February. I'm very interested to see what you guys have read this month. All of my social media links are in the description if you would like to follow me there. If you're not subscribed and would like to see more of my content, that would be absolutely lovely. I post at least 1 video a week. Potentially more. I've filmed a lot of videos lately, so I'll definitely be pumping them out. I will see you in the next video. Bye!